Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining me today. My name is Tandin Tlapo, and today we will be looking at the tariff systems. Did you know that when we pay our water and electricity bills, the tariff serves as a revenue that provides the government with a source of funding? By the end of this lesson, you should be able to understand the concept of tariff systems, calculate the cost of using tariffs when given a formula, and be able to draw and interpret the graph of various tariff systems. Now, these are the concepts that we are going to be looking at under this topic. You should be able to understand the concept of tariff systems, calculate the cost of using the tariffs when given the formula, as well as to draw and be able to interpret the graphs. Now, what you should know by now is how to calculate VAT. So now remember that VAT can be calculated in three ways, whereby you calculate the VAT amount, the VAT exclusive amount, as well as the VAT inclusive amount. And you should also be in a position to complete a table when given the information on the tariff table. Right, so now looking at what you should know by now, remember we've said you should be in a position to calculate the VAT amount, the VAT inclusive, as well as the VAT exclusive amount. Now let's look at the example that is given to us. A pair of sneakers costs 450 Rand. Calculate the VAT charged on the price. So now the price that we see there, it already includes what? VAT, or VAT is already being added on this price. So we need to find the amount that was charged. Now, firstly, you can start by writing your price or the cost price that is given to you. Now, in order for you to be able to find the cost that is already being added on this as your VAT amount, you can use your formula, the formula to calculate the VAT exclusive amount. Now, to calculate the VAT exclusive, we are now separating the cost of an item as well as the VAT amount. We are separating the two so that we can be able to see the VAT amount that was charged. Remember our formula, it says 100 over 115. So now, not forgetting that a VAT in South Africa at the present moment it's levied at 15%. So that is why we are having 115. Now, having that total amount, working that out, 450 multiplied by 100 over 115, it will give you 391.30 cents, meaning this price, it does not include VAT, meaning it's the cost price from the manufacturers. They have not yet included VAT. So in order for you to calculate the VAT amount, you can take the 450 and say minus 391.30 cents. So this will give you the VAT amount of 58 Rand 70. So this is the VAT amount that was charged on this pair of sneakers. Now, if you want to prove if your answer is correct or not, you can still prove it by taking your VAT exclusive amount. Remember, VAT exclusive amount, the VAT is not yet being added. So if you want to calculate your VAT amount on this, you can say multiply by 15 over 100. So then it will give you the same amount, which is 58 Rand 70. This amount is the same as this one. So it means your VAT amount is correct. That's how you can prove it. But even if you don't prove it, as long as you know the correct procedure to calculate your VAT amount, it's still okay. Then let us go to the second part of what you should be knowing by now. When you are given a table, you should be able to complete the missing values on a table. Now, looking at this example, it says a cell phone provider quoted 80 Rand per month and 2.50 per minute. Complete the table below. So now this is a cell phone, provider, of which it was quoted to a customer. Now, firstly, it gives us a standard rate, which is 80 rand. So this 80 rand, it means whether you are using the airtime or not, you are still going to pay this amount. And for each and every minute that you'll be using, you will then be charged 2.50 for each minute. Now, looking at the given context, we are given our two values there, which is the airtime in minutes as well as the cost. So whether you have used the minute or not, we are still paying the standard rate, of which is 80 rand. Looking at this given context, you can start by checking the first value as to how it was calculated. Now, firstly, you have your standard rate, which is 80 rand. Then you're going to say plus because of this and. When you say and, it means you're simply adding. So you'll say plus 2.50 and multiply by 10 to get the number of minutes. So if you work that out, it will give you 105 rand, meaning it's this first value. Meaning you can use this formula to further calculate the other two missing values. Okay, let us continue by finding the other two missing values. So we are having the same procedure or the same formula, which we are having an 80 rand as our standard rate plus 2.50 multiply by 50 now, because we have used 50 minutes. So now let us multiply that so that we can find our total amount that will be paid for using 50 minutes. So if you multiply that, it will give you 205 rand. Now, let me just change that to black so that it will be visible. So we have 205 rand. Now, the last value, using the same formula, we have 80 rand plus 2.50, and that is multiplied by the number of minutes that I used now, which is 60. So we multiply by 60, so it will give us a total amount of 230, meaning you'll be paying 230 for using 60 minutes. So completing your table, we write there 230. Right, so now let us move along to the terminology that you should remember. Now, you will have to be able to compare two or more different options for a tariff system to determine the most appropriate option and draw graphs to represent different options, as well as to interpret the points of intersection and other region on the graph in relation to the given context. So now we are going to take a quick ad break. We'll be right back.